Okay, good evening, everyone. And better late than never, as they say. Here we go, zooming into the Parsha. Maybe that's just a sign that we are supposed to start getting together in person without all the technical difficulties of technology. So I'll offer once again, anyone that would like to actually leave their house, they have to get put on clothing, they have to go into their car, they have to drive down the street, they have to walk up the stairs, they have to come inside, they have to find a seat that they'll be comfortable in. We have coffee, we'll have Danishes here for you. Please join us, and then we can leave the world of Zoom to somebody else, and we will get back to the learning the way that it's been for thousands of years already. But in the meantime, as Rav Baruch Mordechai Ezrachi, who is one of the leading elderly Rosh Yeshivas of our generation, he's, I believe, in his 90s, and he had COVID just about a month or so ago, and so therefore he has to be very delicate with his exposure to other people, and he's really staying in the house. So they were able to hook him up to some kind of a live stream so that he can give his classes to his Talmidim, his students, through a live stream. So they see him, but he doesn't see them. So then he said he heard that there's something called Zoom, which is even better because then at least he can see his students as well. And he said, Gam Zoom Latova. So Be'ez Hashem, this should also be for the good. And one day, Be'ez Hashem, we'll get back together in person and start learning again. We find in this week's Parsha, PARSHAS VAYISHLACH, this is the showdown of Yaakov and Esav. Yaakov has been away 22 years. Esav has been chomping at the bit, waiting to go see his brother, really wants to kill him. That's what Chazal, our sages, tell us. But at the last moment, as he sees his brother, he's overtaken by mercy. And instead of biting his neck off, he ends up giving him a big kiss. And they, so to speak, make up momentarily at that point. Yaakov Avinu has brought many gifts that he wants to give to Esav. He would like to win the heart of Esav that he won't be so angry with him. However, after he gives him all of these gifts, Esav tells him that I don't really need your gifts, my dear brother, because as the verse over here says, Vayomer Esav, Yesh li Rav. Yesh li Rav Achi, I have a lot already. I'm not interested in your stuff over here. And whatever you have, keep it for yourself. And Yaakov Avinu, he asks, he begs, he pleads with Esav, please, I brought it for you, I prepared it for you, I want you to have it. And Vayomer, and Yaakov says to his brother over here, he says, please, kachnas b'chasi, take my gift, my blessing to you. Asher huvas lach ki chanani Elokim, because Hashem has bestowed upon me, v'chi yesh li kol, I have everything. V'yivtza by v'yikach, he said, please, please, Esav, please take from me. So the Klei Yakar points out over here on the words of Esav and the words of Yaakov, the following difference, which is two worlds apart. When Esav says, I don't need any of your stuff, yesh li kol, I have a lot. He said, yesh li Rav, he said, I have a lot. And Yaakov said, please, yesh li kol, I have everything. Says the Klei Yakar on these words, he writes the following. Mashma Rav avaloi koil. He was telling Yaakov Avinu, I have a lot, but I don't have everything. V'Yaakov Amar ki chanani Elokim, Hashem has graced me. He has given me so much. V'chi yesh li kol, I have everything that I need. Even though by the wicked they have everything they need, they have gold and silver and money and riches and mansions and estates and private jets and you name it. They've got it all, Swiss bank accounts all over the world, or at least in Switzerland. They have all these, or they have everything, possibly everything that they need. Nevertheless, mikol malkum nir lahem she'adayim im chaserim. Nevertheless, they look at their lives as if they are still lacking. I've got millions and billions and trillions. I've got so much money, I could never spend it all my life if I wanted to. I've got money loaded in the bank. I've got the house with 17 rooms, 16 and a half bathrooms, a 17-car garage, and I have a car inside each and every one. Each one costs more than the other. However, I never feel like I have enough. I always want to have more. And therefore, Esav said these fateful words, Yesh lem rav, I have a lot, avaloi kol tzarcha, but I don't have everything that I need. However, when it comes to Yaakov Avinu, Tzadikim, the righteous, behepach, they're the opposite. Ki afilu im yesh ma'at biyadim, even if they only have a little bit in their hands. Hem mistabkim by usmeicha bechelkam. They are satisfied with the little bit that they have in their hands, and they're smeichim bo, they actually rejoice in that which they have. And therefore, whatever they have, a little, a lot, or anything in between, to the righteous, to those that understand the way, as it says in the pasuk over here, Yaakov Avinu doesn't say that I earned it myself. I didn't work hard in the business. I'm not such a savvy person, and I'm not such an intellectual fellow, charismatic in my field. That's why I have so much. No. Ki chanani Elokim. Hashem is the one that has been grateful to me and gracious and given me everything that I have. When a person truly feels that everything they have in life is a gift from Hashem, and actually I deserve nothing, so then whatever I have, Yesh li koil, I have everything that I need. I'm not asking, I'm not looking for, I'm not dreaming about it, I'm not jealous of somebody else's possessions. I recognize Chanani Elokim HaKadosh Baruch Hu in His graciousness. He has favored me by giving me these possessions, this money, this body, this house, this wife, these children, this job, this city that I live in. He's given me everything. Yesh li kol, I have it all. I'm not looking for anything else. I have no desire even for more, because I know that whatever I have is perfect, exactly the way that it should be. And this is really the words in the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that says, Ezehu Ashir, who is a rich man? Hasameach bechelkoi, the person who is happy with his chelik, with his lot, that Hashem has apportioned him here in this world. Says Rashi, what does it mean to be happy? And he writes, Bechelik sha'akadosh baruch hu mazmin loi, the portion in life that Hashem has apportioned to him. He takes everything with an ayin yafa, with a good eye. He looks at it all. He appreciates it. He sees the good in what he has. He sees that everything is coming, as he writes, Me'akadosh Baruch Hu, just the way that Yaakov Avinu saw it. But he goes on, Sheyesh lo cheirus nefesh. He has his soul is freed up over here. V'leiv toiv ba'oisa chelik, and his heart is good and happy and satisfied with that portion she'HaKadosh Baruch Hu mazmin loi, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself has given him. Bein toiv, bein ra, whether it looks good or bad. Bein rav, bein ma'at, whether it's a large portion or a little tiny portion that he has in this world. And he's not consumed day and night, chasing after, running after, trying to get more and more and more of what he would like to have. Rather, he's completely satisfied with that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given him, has blessed him with. He's not interested, he's not looking for, he doesn't even want more. Because he knows whatever he has, whatever he has earned, so to speak, through his efforts, whatever he has in his possession, that is a gift. That is a matana, that is a present from Hashem. Says Rabbeinu Yoina on this Mishnah, Ki mi she'eno samech b'chalkai, and someone who is the opposite, they're not happy with their lot, ve'eno saveya b'ma she'nosa LaHashem yisbarach, and they're not satisfied with what Hashem has given to them. Remember, this is the message of Yaakov Avinu. Yaakov was able to say, Yeshli Kol, I have everything, because Chanani Elokim HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who has gifted me with all of his graciousness, these wonderful matanas, these wonderful gifts that I have. And since that I see everything as a direct gift and something that Hashem himself has imparted to me, I'm totally satisfied. Because I know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me everything that I need. Says the Ben Yaina, someone though who is not satisfied, Anihu, that person is a poor man. Like it says in Mishlei, Kol Yimei Ani Rayim, all the days of the poor man are bad. V'toiv leiv mishta tamid. However, someone who has a good heart, a wonderful heart, mishta tamid, he celebrates constantly. Says the Ben Yaina, what does that pasuk mean? Kol Yimei Ani, all the days of the poor man, hamis avil l'mamayin, the person who desires to have more money in his life, which means you could be a millionaire, $100 million millionaire. You got tons and tons of money, and therefore you should be satisfied with what you have. You could never even spend so much money if you live 2 lifetimes. But yet all day long you're busy being misabed, desiring other things, more money, another deal, another investment, put more money in the bank. All of your days are like a poor man. They are rayim, they are bad. Because you don't appreciate what you have. And whatever it is that you have, you look at it like it's not enough. If you don't have enough, then you're poor. Or like it says in the pasuk, Oyev kesef lo yisba kesef. Someone who loves money, he will never be satisfied by money. He always wants more, as we're going to see soon. Ach, toiv leiv. However, someone with a good heart, v'sameach bechelkoi, he rejoices, he is happy with his lot. Kol yamav toivim, all of his days are good. Kama oisa mishta tamid, like a person was making a feast, a festival constantly. Al kein mida toivahi ad ma'oid liyoy samech b'chokai. It's an amazing thing for a person to be happy with their lot. V'anikra ashir. That is the person who is called a rich man. He realized that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who is the source for giving him everything he needs to provide and to survive. And then I have what I need, then I can be involved in a world and a life of Torah and of mitzvahs. The Chavetz Chaim, the saintly Chavetz Chaim, he didn't want to take money from his teaching and from his yeshiva. There is a very strong opinion in halacha that a person should not derive benefit from the Torah learning that they give over to others, and they should do it l'shem shemayim, for the sake of heaven, and not ask for a penny. So how's he going to survive? How's he going to live? So the Chavetz Chaim opened up a little mom and pop shop, a little makola, a little tiny general store. And he was so successful that he was putting other people out of business because everybody wanted to buy from the Chavetz Chaim. The great Chavetz Chaim has a store. They knew that his weights and measures were always perfect. They knew that the merchandise was always top quality. If there was ever any dispute over it, the Chavetz Chaim always said, "You're right, the customer is always right." The people that walked into that store always gained. Chavetz Chaim was happy to lose if he needed to. So he saw that other stores are having a hard time making a living. So he decided that from now on, he's only going to stay open as long as he needs to make money to live for that day. That's it. And he opened his store, whether it was 1 hour, an hour and a half, as the minute that the register, the cash register had enough money to be able to live and eat and serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu that day, the store closed. Says the Ben Yaina, someone who understands that everything you have, that chelik, that portion that you were given by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is exactly what you need to be able to serve him properly. You are the usher, you are the wealthy man. You are rich as could be. Because you could be a very wealthy man in money, in the change and the gelt that's there in your pocket, and your checking account and your savings account. But if you're misav, if you're desiring all the time for more, then you are an ani, you're a poor man, and you'll never be satisfied and you'll never be happy. And this brings us to a very amazing and fascinating Gemara. One of the great personalities that was around in the times of Chazal, of our sages, was Alexander the Great, Alexander Macedon, as he's called in the Gemara. The very famous Greek general Alexander the Great. And he was very friendly to the Jewish people for a certain story which took place with the Reb Shimon the Kohen Gadol, that he used to see him in visions before he would go out to war, and therefore he knew that the Jewish people were very special. And he was very kind and he took care of them. And often he would come to the Chachmei HaGemara, the wise men of the generation, and he had philosophical questions and he would speak to them about it. One day he was traveling along after defeating another country, and he decides that he wants to go to Africa. He wants to see what's going on over there in Africa. He went there, he did his business over there, and then he's journeying on his way back home. As he's journeying on his way back home, he comes in contact with the sharim, with the gates of Gan Eden. And he is so excited, he realizes this is Gan Eden, and he knocks on the door and he asks, "Can you let me in? I'd like to see what it looks like in Gan Eden." He said, "Pischuli Bava, open the gates for me." However, Amrulay, there was a heavenly voice that came out of the Gan Eden, out of the heavens, and said, Zah la Hashem, these are the gates to Hashem. Tzadikim Yavoy, the tzadikim, the righteous ones are the ones that will pass through it. You're not a righteous man, Alexander, and therefore you cannot come to the gates of Gan Eden. Samalahain, Alexander said to them, he said, Ananami Malkana, I'm a chashiv person, I'm a king. And therefore I'm important and I'm great. Mechashvi chashivna, I'm certainly an important person over here. Havulamida, give me something. Give me something from Gan Eden. Give me some wisdom. Give me a treasure. Give me a gift. Something I can take with me. You won't let me in? Fine, I understand. But at least give me a souvenir from Gan Eden. Okay? Yahavule Gugalta Chada Asye. So they gave him the orb of a human eye. Okay, but he didn't realize what it was. He sees this orb, human, he doesn't know what it is. And they give it to him. He's not so impressed, but they give it to him. He figures it's coming from Gan Eden, must be something special. He took this orb of the human eye and he put it on his scales. He wanted to see what it's worth. And he starts putting on the other side gold and silver, trying to see how much this thing is worth. And lo and behold, no matter how much gold, how much silver he put on the other side of the scales, the orb, the eye kept weighing it down, and the other one kept going up to the top. So he came to the rabbi and says, "What is this? What are they giving out over here in Gan Eden over here? What is this? What is this thing?" So they told him, it's the orb, it's like the eyeball, the human eye over here. And the Eina de Bisu Udama, the Laikoisava, which is never satisfied by all of the riches that it has in this world. Like you, Alexander the Great. You've conquered the entire world. You have gold, you have silver, you have palaces, you have acreage, you have cities, you have conquest, you have everything. But you keep looking for more. The eye is never satisfied. So, prove it to me. How do you know that this is an eye that's never satisfied? So Shako Kalile Afra V'chase, so they told him, take a little bit of dirt and cover the eye. The altar, to call at the moment that he covered the eye with the dirt, suddenly the scales flipped and the gold and the silver weighted down and the eye no longer weighed so much. What was the message that they were giving him? As long as the eye can see, as long as the eye desires, as long as the eye covets other things, as long as the eye sees all of the treasures that are here in this world, it will never ever be satisfied. However, the moment that that eye is covered up, which was a symbol of the grave, when there is dirt in the ground, the person will be covered up by that dust. At that moment, the eye rests and it realizes there's nothing at all in this world that you're going to take with you anyway. And it stops coveting and it stops desiring and it stops looking for more. Said the Chachamim, said the sages to Alexander the Great, you are a person who is unsatiable. You're a person whose eye just keeps looking. You should know the eye is never ever going to be satisfied and want more and more and more. Only when it rests, covered up by the dirt in the grave, is that eye going to be able to recognize the reality, whatever it wanted, passing fancy. As the Midrash says in Koheles, the Midrash says the following words: Amar of Yudin b'shem of Eva, Ein Adam yotzim min ha'olam v'chatzi tavasa b'yadai. A person will not leave this world with half of his taivas, half of his desires in his hands. No matter what you acquire, what you accumulate for yourself, no matter what you bring in to your life, all the pleasures, the money, the glory, everything that you can imagine, your acquisitions that you try to attain for yourself. You have a taiva, you have a desire for more and more and more. A person will never leave this world with as much as half of their desires for the physical world satisfied. Ela'in islay ma'ah boy lemebe yasain tartin mavan. A person has 100, they will want 200. Says the Midrash, a person has 200, he will want 400, he wants double. Because half, whatever it is that you have in your fulfillment of your desires, at best, it's only half. And you'll always want more and more and more. Said the Chachamim to Alexander the Great, you'll never be satisfied in this world. The eye will never be satisfied. It's always going to be looking for more, trying to acquire more. However, Yaakov Avinu teaches us that when a person understands Chanani Elokim, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one that was gracious and gave me what I have and what I need, Yesh li kol, I have everything. I don't need any more. And that's what the pasuk in Koheles says, which we quoted before. The pasuk says over here, Oyev kesef lo yisba kesef, somebody who loves money. He loves silver, he loves gold, he loves cars, he loves clothing, he loves houses, he loves to remodel. I once had somebody that switched businesses into he became a contractor. And he wants to show me some of the work that he's doing, that I should know what a professional he was. So he shows me this house. He wants to show me demolition and the design and the rebuilding. So he shows me a kitchen. I thought it was the finished product. And then he shows me how the machines are coming in and knocking the place down. I said, well, why did you destroy it? He said, because this person just had his kitchen redone like 3 years ago. And he decided he wanted a new kitchen, so we had to give him a brand new kitchen over here. Oyev kesef, if you love kesef, you love the world of Gashmias, you love the world of the pleasures, the physicality, and everything, all the trappings that are there, la yizba, you will not be satisfied. Says the Ibn Ezra, nafsha la yisisba, your nefesh, your soul, your spirit, which is going to be looking for more and more and more and more, try to find something to grab onto, it will not be satisfied. Says the Metzudas David, Misha oyev la'asef kesef, someone who loves to gather in, who loves to hoard the money, la yisma mimeni, he'll never be satisfied. Why? Ki la'olam ein dai loy b'ma shekavatz, because he never will feel that he acquired and he amassed enough. And he feels like he needs to acquire more. What a sad life, says King Solomon. in Koheles over here. A person could be a billionaire, like it says over here in Rabbeinu Yaina. You could have so much. But if you love that world of the Gashmi, you love that world of the physicality, you love that world of all the trappings that come and trimmings that come along with it, Lo Yisba, you'll never be satisfied. Because that eye that you have is never quieted. It's always looking at, there's always something else to see in this world. There's always someone that will have more than you have, something different than you have. You bought the car in black, he got it in blue. Wow, I didn't think it was gonna look so nice in blue. He had this remodel that came in, you chose that one over there, and this guy's kitchen looks nicer than yours right now. He has this vacation he went on and he planned, he went away for 10 days, and you only went away for 8 days. Nebach, the sad life. Oyev Kesef, someone who loves money, loves this world, Lo Yisbe, he will never be satisfied. Says the Vilna Gaon in his famous letter, the Igeres Hagra, the letter that he wrote to his wife and to his children. Ha'olam daim elashai samayim meluchim. This world is compared to drinking salty water. Yid meloshe marve, when you drink the water, you're thirsty, you start drinking it down. It appears to you that you're being satisfied. However, if it's some yoiser, but when you finish drinking, you realize, I'm so thirsty. Can you give me another glass of water? And the more salt water that you drink, the thirstier you're going to get. Says the Vilna Gaon, this is the nature of the world that we are living in over here. You think if you get another possession, you're going to be satisfied. You think that if Amazon's algorithm will decide for you what the next thing on your bucket list is that you have to buy, then you'll be happy? No, because the next time you go on Amazon, they're going to show you a new algorithm with new things that people like you like to buy this also. Well, Amazon is going to tell me what's going to make me happy. Amazon is going to predict for me the things I need to buy and have in my possession in order that I can be satisfied. Says the Torah over here, it's not true. The more time that you spend on Amazon.com, the more things that you buy, the more that you listen to their suggestions of people like you as if they know who you are. The more that you listen and then you actually press the button and you say, yeah, I need that. Guess what? You're going to buy twice as much next time because a person will not die with even half of his desires in his hand. Because a person loves this world, but they will not be satisfied. I had a Rebbe in yeshiva many years ago. His advice was so beautiful. I wish that I would follow some of his advice. He said he'd never let brochures and magazines from the stores into his house. Why? Because the kids start looking at them when they come in the mail. And they, ooh, look at all that, look at all that, look at all that. Tati, I need this. Mommy, can we go shopping? I'd like this. And then they develop inside their mind this whole world where they're dreaming about foolish things. And then they think that if they don't have that, they can't be happy. Says the Torah over here, who's a rich man? Not the one that can press buy on Amazon.com every single time. Not the one that can go to any restaurant and order anything on the menu that he wants to. Not the one that can remodel, that can knock down, can rebuild. That's not the happy man. That's not the rich man. The one who says, Baruch Hashem, I have everything that I need. I'm not looking for more. I'm not asking for more. I'm not interested in more. As a matter of fact, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like Yaakov Avinu says over here, I recognize clearly whatever it is that you have given me, that's all that I need. A story that I like to tell about these ideas is one that happened years ago when I was in Baltimore. The yeshiva was making a Chinese auction. And so they sent, of course, all of the brochures and all of the envelopes in the mail to all of the people that were on the mailing list, hoping that everybody would donate generously in order to join into this auction. So they receive in the mail a return envelope from Rebbetzin Berger, and in there is a check for $50, but she left out the stubs of which of the raffle she wanted to be a part of. So they called Rebbitzin, and they asked her, could you tell us which prizes would you like the raffle to be for? You forgot that part of the return. She said, oh no, none at all actually. They said, yeah, but you gave $50. So if you gave $50, so you're entitled to be part of the raffle. So what would you like? She said, I'm fine. We don't need anything. I just want to donate to the cause of the kollel of the yeshiva over here. They said, yes, but Rebbitzin, you gave us the money. You get like 10 tickets. So which one would you like us to enter you in for? She said, I'll tell you the truth. The other night, I sat down at the table with my daughter, and we took out your very beautiful brochure over there, and we went through all of the prizes that you were offering. And we kept asking ourselves, do we need this? No. Do we need this? No. Do we need this? No. We went through everything in your brochure, and we realized we don't need anything. Baruch Hashem. Yesh li kol, we have everything that we need. As a result, we're not interested in entering into the raffle, but we'd like to support your kollel and the yeshiva anyway. This is the midah of Yaakov Avinu, the attribute that says, I recognize in my life, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who takes care of all of my needs. I'm not lacking, I'm not missing. I don't have to look around the world to try to see what else could I amass for myself, what else could I put into my possession. Because that's the message over here. The more that you amass, the more that you will buy, the more that you will bring into your life, the more that you will bring into your home, into your rooms, the more that you will fill up your closets with designer names and clothing, the more that you will get yourself whatever it is that's on your wish list and the bucket list to get, guess what? You'll never be satisfied. You'll only want more. It's the mayim maluchim, it's the salty waters of this world. It looks like, whoa, look at these new things I got. Now I'm going to be satisfied for about the next 3 or 4 minutes. Wow, this new clothes, this new suit that I got. You go out the first day to Shabbos, new suit feels so good. But it's worn out after a day or two. Well, I need something new. Wow, my new car is great. Why do they have leasing? You have to lease a car 3 years because we get tired of what we have. It's not enough. I want the newest model with the newest bells and whistles, with the newest things that are inside of there. So now they have the 2-year lease because 3 years, I can't last that long. I have to have a new car every 2 years right now. Or maybe I'll do this. I'll try to get someone to buy out my lease after 1 year because I didn't realize I bought the year in the even number year. That's when they don't change the model. And now it's an odd number year. Now they did change the model. So I got the old model, body, just the body. The inside is the same thing. Yeah, but the body, the car looks different now. So let me see if I could just get someone to buy out my lease. I'll give them a good deal. Now I can get the new model car. Says the Torah, it's ein ledavar soif. There's no end. If a person will get involved in this world, they'll never be satisfied. They'll never see what they need. They'll never realize that they have everything that they need right there in front of them because they're always looking for more. Amazon is destroying our children. Amazon is destroying our own way that we look at the world. The billboards, they destroy us. The commercials, they destroy us. That's the world of an ani, of a poor person. That's the world of someone that is never going to be satisfied. The brochures, the magazines that come in the mail with all the models, GQ, all the different things, the pictures, they make those pictures so perfect that every single person would like to have what is in the picture over there. You're not going to be happy if you get it. Because once you get it, your taiva, your desires for these things, they expand, they grow even more. And when a person lives like that, there is no happiness, unfortunately. There's always a lacking. Like the Ibn Ezra says over here, your nefesh, that component inside of you that craves something to be complete, that craves to be satisfied, leisisve will never be satisfied. Esav HaRasha he had a lot. He had a lot. And Yaakov Avinu was offering even more. He said, take these gifts. There was so much that was there. And Esav said, Yesh li Rav, I have a lot, my brother. I do have a lot. But says the Klei Yakar, Esav was saying, I don't have everything. I always feel that I'm lacking something. What are you lacking, Esav? You've got a palatial estate. You have servants. You have wives. You have children. You have money in the bank. You've got everything that you need. No, because my neighbor has something else that I don't have. My sister, she got something that I don't have. And I want to get that now also. Ein l'davasav, there's no end, says the Torah. Yaakov Avinu says, no. That's not how you look at life. We're supposed to be a samech bechelko, someone that is happy, and they rejoice over their lot because they realize, Chanani Elokim. What do I have in my life? Everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to have. If he wanted me to have more, I would have more. If he wanted me to have less, I would have less. That means that whatever I have in my life right now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants me to have. I think that if I get more, I'll be happier. Could not be farther from the truth. You'll be like that person who just keeps drinking one glass of salty water until your stomach just starts filling up and you have stomach pains from all of the water and the liquid that you drank. And you can't understand, why am I still thirsty? Why am I not satisfied? And the answer is because the physical world does not satisfy us. The ruchniistic world, the spiritual world, is what satisfies a person. And that's why Rabbi Yoda writes over here, if you would see that you have everything that you need, all of the parnasa, all of the livelihood, all the possessions, all the money, for the sake of being able to serve Hashem and to keep his Torah and his mitzvahs, that's the preeminent goal in a person's life. So then you realize that the physicality is just a means to provide you the things that you need to be able to sit and to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu with mitzvahs, with chesed, with tzedakah, with working on yourself, with being a better spouse, a better parent, a better child, and so on and so forth. But when the gashmias, when the physicality, the pleasures of this world becomes a means in and of themselves, and that's where my focus is, you'll never be happy. Because if the neshama is not being serviced, the neshama is not being taken care of, the neshama is not getting what it desires, you will never be truly happy. Happiness comes from within, not from without. The spiritual world resonates with inside of a person. The physical world is external, it's on the outside. That's where my taivas go and they try to cling themselves to. But if I'll just recognize I got it all, nothing else do I need. And that gives me everything that is necessary in order that I can serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu better. Today, I'm all set. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. Not thirsty for more and for more and for more. Imagine a person, we have to build this up inside of ourselves. Number one, you can't go on Amazon.com every single day of your life. You just can't. Okay, now if you're going on it 10 times a day, cut it down to 5 times a day. If you're on it 5 times a day, cut it down right now to twice a day. If it's twice a day, try to go one day of the week where you don't see what's the hot deal on Amazon.com. What's right for the holiday season right now? Oh, it's Cyber Monday, and then it's Cyber whole week, and then it's Cyber whole month. I so many things I have to get. The more you look, the more you're going to be drawn after it. The more you're drawn after it, the more you think you need it. The more you think you need, the more you're going to purchase it and you're going to buy it. The more that you buy it, says the Torah, the less happy you're going to be. So we have to train ourselves. We have to cut down on the involvement and the indulgence in the pleasures of this world, because if we don't, then we just keep drinking the mayim meluchim, the salty waters over here. And then even if you do go onto Amazon or any of the other billions of websites that are selling their wares during this time of the year, you want to look? Look. but test yourself and don't buy it. That also is a great accomplishment for a person, where they can hold themselves back from buying something even though they think that they want it. Your neshama doesn't really want it. It knows there's more baggage to schlep around this world when it's trying to daven, when it's trying to learn, when it's trying to do chesed. The more physical possessions a person has, the more baggage that it leaves on a person, the more weights they have to schlep around with them everywhere they go. How can you daven properly with your mind clear when your mind is thinking about all the things that you want to purchase? How can you learn with a mind that is focused when you're worrying to yourself, I saw they just came out with the mini and the maxi iPhone 12. This is iPhone 11 already. It's only one size. You know what? I've been a good boy this year. I think I deserve the next level up. So then you go to the store. Will I get the mini or the maxi? Big decisions over here in life. Am I a maxi person? Am I a mini person? I was in the store and had to exchange. I had to get a phone for somebody, and the salesman over there was trying to convince me to buy an iPhone. And he says, man, you got to see this thing. Look at this. Siri, what time is it? Siri, go. I'll schedule a call to so-and-so. Siri, remind me to go to the bank. So he's showing me all these things. And he's like, you see that? You don't even have to touch a button. It's amazing, man. It's amazing. So I'm sitting there quietly laughing to myself that this man is amazed. So he said, watch this. Siri, call Rebecca. Nothing. Siri, call Rebecca. Nothing. Siri, call Rebecca. Nothing. I don't know, he says. It always works. I don't know why it's not working right now. You're never going to be happy with these things. It's always something else that's going to be out there. The newest model, the latest model, extra things that will be there. Says the Torah, Rabbi Yaakov Avinu, recognize that Yesh li kol, I have everything that I need. I don't need anything more. Because if I needed more, I would have more. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have extra, I'd have extra. And therefore, says the Torah, that's the pathway to happiness. That is the pathway to satisfaction. That is the pathway that will lead you to the real joy in one's life, which is the spiritual satisfaction and happiness and comfort that the neshama has from being involved in the world of Torah and of mitzvahs. I want to leave off with a very famous story. Could be that on one of these shiurim I even told it over before, but it drives home this point like no other story that I know. One of the great billionaires of the Jewish people was a man by the name of Edward Reichman, a billionaire par excellence. And he was coming close to the end of his life. And when he died, he left over 2 wills. And they were in 2 separate envelopes. And one said to be read before the burial, and one said to be read 30 days after the burial, after the funeral. So Edward Reichman, a devoutly religious Jew, he passed away, and his children found this envelope that said to be read before the burial, before the funeral. And they open it up, and it says, my dear children, I ask one thing of you before the funeral. Please make sure that I get buried in my favorite pair of socks. And he left them instructions and directions. They would know which socks those were. So the children came to the Chevra Kedisha, who are in charge of the burial, and they brought the socks, and they said, our father asked that he should be buried in these socks. These apparently were his favorite socks. So the Chevra Kedisha said, it's not the custom, it's not the minhag, it's not the halacha to be buried in other things besides the tachrichim, besides the burial shrouds. So the children said, well, that's what our father asked. He's just asking one thing. He said, you'll have to go to the Rav and ask. They went to the Rav and they asked him, is it possible that our great father would be able to be buried in his socks, and the rabbi pulled out the Shulchan Aruch and he showed them inside nothing else for a man to be buried in except for the shrouds. He said, it's even though that in this world your father felt that it would be a nice thing to be buried in his socks, now that he's there in the Olam HaEmes, in the world of truth, he certainly sees that it's not about being buried in the socks. And I'm sorry, there's nothing that we can do. And the children said, but our father was such a devout Jew. He lived his life according to halacha all of his life. He wouldn't ask for something if it wasn't proper. And the rabbi said, I understand. But we're not going to bury him in his socks, no matter how much you ask. We're going to do things according to the halacha, the way that it is written for generations. The funeral comes and goes. The children and the family, they sit shiva. And by the shloshim, by the 30 days from the burial, they open up the other envelope. And they pull out another letter. And the letter says the following words. My dear children, by now you must have buried me without my socks. I wanted you to understand that a man can have $1 billion in this world, but in the end, he can't even take with him his favorite pair of socks. Yesh li koil. I have everything that I need. My eye will never be satisfied with everything that it looks around and sees here in this world. There will always be something more tantalizing for me to get my hands on. However, says the Torah, let's live our lives like a Yaakov Avinu. Not like the Esavs of this world, that Yesh li Rav. I have a lot, but I'm still not satisfied. The reason you're not satisfied is because you'll never be satisfied when you keep taking more and more and more. However, once that a person begins to recognize that the chelik that he was Chanani Elokim, that HaKadosh Baruch has given him, is exactly the way that it's supposed to be, then I'm an usher. I could have no money in the bank, and I could be the richest man in the world. Like the Rabbi Yonah quotes that pasuk over there, Toiv Leiv Mishte Tamid, someone whose heart is gladdened, he's celebrating all day long. The heart is the center. The heart itself is the conductor of all of the spiritual emotions that a person has in their life. And if the heart is rejoicing over the fact that I recognize I've got everything that I need, then my whole life is like a festival. My whole life is like a suda. It's like a mitzvah, like a chasana. I walk around singing everywhere that I go. Because I end up focusing my attention and my energies and my efforts on that which is most important, which is going to be the true source of my simcha, my happiness, and my joy in this world. And that is when I realize that Hashem has given me everything, so that I can be v'yasaik b'tayru b'mitzvahs, that I can be engaged and involved in a life of Torah and of mitzvahs. May we be zeicha in Yetz Hashem to continue learning from the sacred ways of our forefather Yaakov Avinu, who is given the name Yisrael in this week's Parsha because we are all Bnei Yisrael, we are the children of Israel. And one of the components of being his child is that just as he was able to recognize that Yesh li kol, I have everything that I need, so we also have the ability within to recognize we have everything that we need. And the real joy and happiness will be internally, not from the external sources. And if we do that, then Be'ez Hashem, as Esav went to Har Sayir, he went to the mountain, the land with all of its pastures and all of its lush works and trees and all the every riches that he had, and yet he was never satisfied. Yaakov Avinu lived a life of true satisfaction. We should be zeich ourselves to not get caught up in the rat race over here in our society. We should know how to either not turn on the computer or just not press on Amazon. Oh, Amazon, smile. But I'm donating money to Makor Chaim when I buy things over there. Wonderful. We appreciate your donations. But I'd rather you be a happy person than buy something extra on Amazon.com so that you'll have to buy more and more and more because you're so unhappy. So let's be happy. We have everything that we need. HaKadosh Baruch Hu blesses us, Chanani Elokim, with so much. And in that way, Be'ez Hashem, will be the true Hashem, the true wealthy people of this world, rich with Torah, rich with mitzvahs, rich because we recognize whatever we have, it's even more than I could possibly imagine. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week, a wonderful Shabbos, and we'll see you next week as Hashem. All the best.
Thank you so much, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.